Good evening, this is Carolyn with Scrapbooking with a Twist, and we are going to make the main swap embellishment tonight over on Ginger's Corner. The links and everything will be in the description below, but this main swap was Change of Seasons, and if you notice, I have two of them up here. This is the first one I made, and I decided I liked it, but I decided it wasn't what I wanted to use for the main swap. So I'm going to keep it. I may do it again. I may do it next year for this one or something, but that's not the one you're getting. So this is the one you're going to get, my little scarecrow. I really like him. So the little scarecrow and the pumpkins are a cricket. They're different. They're not together. They're a cricket design. The little limbs are a punch. And this little bitty leaf is a punch. And the frame is a die cut. So we used a little bit of everything to create this. These are all the same pumpkin. I just stretched it for this one, made it smaller for this one. And so, but they're all the same one. So to start this, we're going to put our frame on our paper. And you'll see I cut these frames 4.5 by 3 1/4, but then so places where these little dips are and everything, I needed to trim away just a little, but that was the basic size. These are a really neat set of dies, and I just use one and then the next size smaller to actually make it into a frame. And then I'll show you this. Let's see, scoot that just a tiny bit. There we go. This came out of the middle of it, which I'm going to keep those and I'll use those, but I did use them to punch the little limbs out of. Okay, so there's our beginning part. I think this is depending on how much you would want to journal, this could be a neat little journal box. You could even, put you could do your title, overlap your title there, do something like that, overlap your title there. So I didn't put anything else out there, thinking that you could either use it as a journaling box or work it in with your title somehow. All right, so now we've got to start putting our pieces together to get all of this made. So this is the pumpkin. This one, some of the, like this one, all the leaves and everything cut on it. This was kind of an intricate die cut, and so it was a little bit hard. Most of them stayed together. This one I'm going to keep for myself, and some of those leaves came off. Tore off when it was cutting, so I'll keep this one for myself. But and I tell you, looking for pumpkins that I liked turned out to be more of a chore than I thought it would be, because most of them, every little slot, every little section of the pumpkin is a different piece. I mean, some of those pumpkins had like 6 pieces for each pumpkin. And I'm like, I can't do 6 pieces for each pumpkin. I'm sorry. That's a little too many pieces to be putting together when you've got I usually make about 13 or 14. 10 for the swap, a couple for me, and then like an extra either for blessing boxes, or I'm in a yearly swap on another deal, and that's a lot to make, and it just I just couldn't do that many pieces for that. So, and like this one, I'm gonna cut this off. There's no use to waste, because this one's gonna tuck under there. Let me make sure, yeah, that's the right side. I'm not gonna waste those little leaves where I tuck it under, so I'll keep those, and I may add them somewhere, but I'm not going to waste them. But I liked these pumpkins, so I saved them. But I wasn't doing all of those jillion pieces for each pumpkin. Just couldn't do it. That is, I don't want it on there. Don't want it on there. I don't know what that is. But it's determined, I think it's just maybe glue off of my tweezers. But it's determined to stay. There. All right. So there are our pumpkins. That one kind of slid on me when I don't know if I can undo that without tearing it up or not. It slid on me when I was trying to get that, whatever that was, off of it. And this is not heavy paper, so I hope I don't tear this one up because I don't have another one. Well, maybe I do. You see if I have another one. You know what? This one's for me. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it like that before I tear it up. You can just watch my mistakes. It'll be all right. And then this is the little scarecrow. And I got to remember how to put him. If you'll notice, his face is yellow. I got all the way through making all of my scarecrows except for the one I was going to make for the video. And I had forgotten to put the little face on it that's a different color. So I'm going to on this one, but none of the ones that are going to get in the swap, they've all just got the little yellow face, which was supposed to just be the hay that he was stuffed with. But, oh well, you know, that's how it goes. Sorry about that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to put together is going to be his little overalls. And this is a piece, I don't know if you can see it, but it's embossed with the little like dots. So I thought that was really cute. And then the dark green shows through. I see there's one of his buttons is not pushed out. So I gotta get that out of there. Okay. And then put that right there. And then his little pocket and his buttons and the little cuffs are all like that. Then we're going to ink it. And let's see, there's my ink. Oh, that's not the one I used. Here's the one I used. That one is darker. This is my vintage photo. That's the one we're going to use. And I'm using my little makeup applicator because some of these, I tell you, I'm not doing very good. I've already assembled all the ones for the swap, and they're already in their envelope. I should have done the little pocket before I put them together. So it's late. It's really late. So sorry about that. But I would have done the little pocket, and it would look a little better, but that's the way it is. And then around the edges of that, and there we have it. But yeah, I should have done the little overalls before I put it together so that the little pocket would be inked. This one is. And the ones you'll get in the swap are. This one's mine. The one that's going to be messed up will be mine. Okay, so let's go ahead and ink our little, because I want to ink the hay just a little bit. Just kind of edging that hay that's coming out, his arms and his feet, and for his hair. A little more on that one. Okay. All right, that has that done. I think I pre-inked everything else. All right, so I'm going to start putting him together, and I'm going to do the twist. I'm just going to put his little shirt and his overalls on him, and I'm going to do the twist while I'm doing that. The twist tonight comes from Proverbs 13:22, and I'm going to be honest, I had a stack of my twists laid out, and I'm not sure, and I don't know for sure which ones I've used and which ones I haven't, and I didn't have time to go back and look at the videos. So if I've used this one recently, I will apologize. But if you're like me, either A, you don't remember that I used it, or B, I need that lesson over and over and over and over anyway. So this is from Proverbs 13:22, and it says, if you obey God, you'll have something to leave your grandchildren. If you don't obey God, those who live right will get what you have. And I thought, wow, that's pretty powerful. That it challenges us to live right so that we leave our grandchildren something. Now, most of y'all, I know, have, well, not most of you, but many of you that watch my channel, I know that your grandchildren, like mine, are just kind of the light of your life. And so the thought that we have no legacy, that we leave no legacy for them, just kind of chills me to the bone, because I want my grandchildren to know that I was a Christian and that I trusted God, and that was just, the main focus of my life. And so I think, our world just revolves around our grandkids. And so what are we going to leave them? What's going to be our legacy? What do we want it to be? I think about my own grandmother, and what I remember about her. Some of the main things I remember about her was her praying. And I know she prayed for me, especially like my college years and some things like that, when my mom was going through a divorce and remarrying later. I know she prayed for me. I know that's all that got me through some situations. And I remember her reading her Bible. I remember her kind of using things that happened in life as lessons on right and wrong, and how to apply, God's word to our lives. I remember those things about her, and those are the kind of things that I hope my grandchildren remember about me. I don't want those things to be forgotten. I don't want them to be lost. I want that to be what my grandkids remember about me. So, like the verse said, it's, if you obey God, then you have something to leave your grandchildren. But if you don't, then you don't have anything to leave them. So that was my purpose for that. And not just our grandchildren, but our children, our nieces, our nephews, just the kids, anybody that knows us even. That would be our legacy. All right. I'm not going to leave his little face off on this one. I'm going to actually put it on there. So there is his little face. All right, let's go ahead, and here's his little hat. And his hat is, let's just, it kind of, they didn't ask me, but if they did, I have some suggestions for some of these things. Why in the world wouldn't you make the hat all one piece and then just make the little hat band that you put on top of it? I don't understand that. Why wouldn't you make the little shirt all one piece and then you put the overalls over it? It just doesn't make sense to me. It just makes these harder, more pieces, harder to do your paper and everything. I don't understand. I love Cricut, and I've been using my Cricut more because my silhouette I don't know. It's not cutting the way I want it to. But I would use it more if they would kind of combine some things and it wasn't quite as complicated. I think Silhouette is actually a little more user-friendly than Cricut in that manner. But, you know, Silhouette has its drawbacks at times too, but I really do think it's a little more user-friendly. All right, this is his little mouth. I cannot believe that this cut is tiny, 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 tiny as this is. It was just out of some craft paper that it actually cut and came apart perfect. I came out of that perfectly. I mean, because I usually just draw things like this in because there's just no way that it's going to come out good. But these little mouths came out perfectly. Now, I did not mess with the little eyes and the noses. I'll just be honest with you. We're just going to draw in his little nose. I'm using a brown little fine tip pen. And then we're going to use black for his eyes. And I thought about putting those little tiny black like rhinestone things on his eyes, but I thought, nah, I don't think so. It's a scarecrow. Why would you do that? So anyway, there's my little scarecrow. And then we've got these put together. We have our scarecrow put together. So now it's time to put them all on our little background here. So I'm going to start with this one that I messed up pretty bad. And I'm going to put a piece of foam on it. And it's going to go right in this corner. Do y'all see my thumb? Doesn't that look nice? I was pulling weeds the other day, here a while back, and I was pulling sticker weeds. I had some sticker weeds way out by the road, and I was pulling those, and I got this set of them stuck in me right back in here. Just pulled it out, didn't think a thing about it. And this is foam. This is fun foam, as a matter of fact. Since it was such a big piece, I didn't want to use my foam squares, and so I just cut this fun foam to put on the back of the scarecrow. Anyway, I just pulled it out, kept going. I wasn't using gloves, which is, I don't like to wear gloves. I may wear them a little more now after this happened. And anyway, I didn't think anything about it. A few days later, it started getting sore and started getting pus in under the fingernail, and then it just got really sore. And then it started like trying to come out this end of it started back in here, and then it started coming out like it was going to make its way out the end of my finger. So I went to the doctor, and he said, yeah, that's an infection, all right. And evidently it started from, you know, the poison, I guess, in those sticker weeds. So he put me on an antibiotic for a week, and it got better. Oh, the next morning, literally the next morning, then there was this huge blister filled with pus back there. That was gross. I barely touched it. I sterilized a needle and just barely touched it. It just exploded. And but anyway, it all got better, and I thought all was going to be well. And then now my fingernail is starting to come off. It's coming loose, and I think it's just going to grow off. So I need to get my nails done, and we're just going to leave this one undone. Be kind of gross, but that's the way it's going to be. All right, I've pretty much got all of these down now. I want to slide this one in under that one just a little. I just like the overlapping and the, you know, dimension that the foam squares give it. And then like I said, this is a punch, and I'm just going to put these little like tree things, limbs back in there. This one is a little longer, I think, than what I want on that side. Cut that away. So I'm not going to glue these down all over because I like them loose. I like the look of them being loose up in the limbs. Okay, since you can't put foam or anything under them, they're so tiny. I just like the look of the being free up there. Okay, get that straightened up. Just a little bit of glue. Slide it in under there. All right. The only thing we have left to do is, what happened to my other leaves? I think I got them tucked in under him. Oh no, that's the one that didn't have any, right. Okay, I think I will add these there. That's what I think I will do. There we go. See, I've got this one too that I could put. We'll put it right over here on this side. There we go. All right. The only thing we have left to do is put the little leaf on its hat, and I think we will be finished. I love this little leaf punch. It is so tiny, but I've used it on so many fall cards and layouts. I love it. So there is our little scarecrow and pumpkins. I hope you enjoyed that. Even though I messed up a little, I think it's fine. This one's going to be mine anyway. Thank you for dropping by my channel. Thank you if you're a subscriber. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to look down in the description box where you can see everyone who participated in the videos for the main swap this month over on Ginger's Corner. There will be a link so you can watch them all, and there's some so talented people. And if you're not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe, and have a blessed day and be a blessing to someone else.